Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my friends. Boy, it's going to be a hot one today. We're actually supposed to get up to 80 degrees today. Man, talk about a heat wave. But anyways, I'm going to read to you my latest Substack. It's called What's Going On? Make sure I'm sharing. Not a black screen again. I've done that too many times that I don't like. So bear with me on those little errors I still make. Okay, so let's get on with this. It says, what's really going on? A MAGA supporter's point of view. All right, folks, let's dig into this crazy mess and see what's really going on. We've got a shooting in Minnesota that's raised all kinds of red flags tied to these No King's Day protests, and it's got MAGA supporters like me wondering who's pulling the strings and bankrolling these riots. Here's the breakdown, step by step, and as I see it, with a healthy dose of skepticism about the left's playbook. The Minnesota shooting, what we know. On June 14th, 2025, two Democrat lawmakers and their spouses were gunned down in Minnesota. The shooter, guy named Vance Bolter. Who? Here's the rub. He worked for Governor Tim Walz. Yeah, that Tim Walz, the Democrat darling who's been all cozy with the progressive agenda. This wasn't some random nutcase. This guy had a connection to the top. They found No King's flyers in Bolter's car, tying him straight to the No King's Day protests that were raging that day. Protests supposedly against Trump and authoritarianism. But here's where it gets weird. He didn't go after Republicans. He shot Democrats. Now, why would a left-wing protester turn on his own side? Hold that thought because it's a big piece of this puzzle. They also found a list in his car, names of abortion rights supporters and other lawmakers, political targets plain as day. And the timing, right before the Army's 250th birthday and Trump's 79th. Symbolic dates for both a symbolic hit. Symbolic dates for a symbolic hit. Coincidence? From this MAGA supporter's point of view, that's a stretch, especially after days of violent riots in LA and other Democrat-controlled cities. It's more like a misdirection play to me than anything. No King's Day protests and color revolution tactics. Let's zoom out and look at these No King's Day protests. They're popping up all across the country, especially in Democrat-controlled cities like Los Angeles. The reason why? Because the DAs, they know no charges will be pressed. If they do get arrested, all they're going to do is be booked, fingerprint, have their photo taken, then let right out the front door. All right. For those of you who don't know, wait a minute. Let's zoom out and look at these No King's Day protests. They're popping up all across the country, especially Democrat Los Angeles. The vibe, anti-Trump, anti-King, pushing this narrative of resisting some big bad orange authoritarian. Sound familiar? It's straight out of the Color Revolution Handbook. For those who don't know, color revolutions are those orchestrated uprisings, think of Ukraine and Georgia, where grassroots protests, often funded by big players, topple governments. They're usually nonviolent, relying on marches, slogans, and now that the MSN can spin and propagandize the story to create a wave of people power, thanks to Obama modernizing the Smith-Mundt Act of 1948 and 2012. But here's the rub. This one's got violence baked into it. Riots in LA, burning streets, and now a shooting in Minnesota. That's not your typical color revolution. It's an escalation. From this MAGA supporter's perspective, this looks like the left's trying to stir up chaos to destabilize things, maybe to undermine Trump's presidency, maybe to create a crisis they can exploit. The No Kings branding fits the script. Paint Trump as a dictator, rally the masses, and make it look organic. But when you add in the taking of people's lives, I believe they're turning the heat up to force a bigger reaction. Riots in Democrat cities. Who's funding this? Now let's talk about those riots in LA and other Democrat strongholds. We've seen this movie before. 2020 Summer of Love, anyone? Cities burning, businesses trashed. And who's footing the bill? Left-wing groups and Democrat-linked companies, of course. That's who. Think big tech, progressive nonprofits, and shadowy donors who love to play both sides of the street. From where I'm sitting, it's not a stretch to say these No Kings Day protests are getting the same juice the left got the cat. Getting the same juice. The left's got the cash. I should put has. The left has the cash. Yeah, I should have did that. The left has the cash, the networks, and the motive to keep the chaos going. Why? Control the narrative. If the streets are on fire, they can scream Trump's fault and push for more power, emergency measures, crackdowns, lawfare, you name it. It's a power grab dressed up as a movement. Why the violence from the left? Here's the $64,000 question. Those of you old enough to know will understand that part right there. Why is all this violence coming from the left? You've got riots in their own cities and now a shooter tied to a Democrat governor hitting Democrats. From a MAGA lens, there's a couple of plausible angles. Desperation mode. The left's losing ground. We see it everywhere, every day. Trump is even more of a force now than he ever was. The MAGA base is fired up and stronger and larger than ever. And their old books of lawfare and media smears aren't working like they used to. So they crank it up to 11 with violence, hoping to shake things up. False flag vibes. This is where it gets spicy. What if Bolter's attack was a setup? Think about it. A left-wing guy shoots Democrats, and suddenly the left's the victim. The videos and photos of all the violent riots in LA while waving around the flags of their home countries. This way, the MSM spins this attack on Democrats as right-wing extremism. The base rallies all while ignoring violent riots by the left, and they've got a blank check to hit back twice as hard. It's a classic move. Create a crisis, pin it on the other side, and then play the hero. The same old tired play of blaming the Republicans for what the Democrats are themselves guilty of. The fact that Bolter worked for Governor Walz makes this theory pop. Insider access, maybe even orders or resources from higher up. It's no fantasy. It's a conspiracy that fits the pieces we've got together nicely. Democrats under attack. What's the play? So why are Democrats suddenly the targets? That list in Bolter's car, abortion rights folks, lawmakers, suggests this wasn't random. Here's how this MAGA supporter has connected the dots. Purge the ranks. Maybe the left's cleaning house. Get rid of dissenters, moderates, or anyone who's not fully on board with their radical agenda. A hit list that could be a message. Toe the line or else. This Democrat lawmaker did vote with Republicans on cutting wasteful spending. Murder strategy. or they're making martyrs, sacrifice a few to fire up the base, justify extreme measures, and paint the right as the big bad wolf. It's cold, calculated, and brutal, but politics ain't pretty, folks. Deflection. If the left's behind the riots and protests, having their own people attacked flips the script. Instead of answering for all the chaos in LA that Democrats are responsible for, they're the ones crying for justice. Sick, right? Ugh, the Waltz connection, too hot to ignore. Let's circle back. I thought y'all would enjoy that one little part right there. Let's circle back to that. To Vance Bolter working for Governor Waltz. That's not a footnote. It's a flashing neon sign. This guy wasn't some drifter. He had a tie to the Democrat machine in Minnesota. What did he know? What did Waltz know? Did he have access to info, resources, or even a nudge to pull this off? From this MAGA supporter's view, it's hard not to see this as an inside job. Maybe Waltz or someone above him wanted this to happen. A false flag doesn't work without someone on the inside. And Bolter fits the bill. It's not proof, but it's enough to get my spidey sense going crazy. Putting it all together, a MAGA supporter's take. Or I should have said this MAGA supporter's take, whatever. Here's my theory, folks. And it's more plausible than the propagandized fairy tales the mainstream media is spewing. The left's running the color revolution 2.0. Mostly peaceful protests, riots, and now violence. All funded by their deep pockets. The No King's Day stuff is the branding. LA's the testing ground, and Minnesota's the shock factor. Bolter's attack, a false flag to make the left look like the victims. Rally their side and smear the right. His ties to Waltz seals it, in my opinion. Why they're desperate to stop? Why? They're desperate to stop President Trump before he exposes all their corruption, destabilize the country, and grab power back any way they can. The mainstream media is in on it, thanks to Obama revising the Smith-Month Act, spinning it to protect, and project their approved propagandized narrative. But the cracks are showing. Too many coincidences, too much convenience. A word of caution. I'm not saying this is gospel, y'all. The investigation is still fresh, and we need more facts, ballistics, motive, money trails. But from this MAGA supporter's position, this stinks to high heaven. Stay sharp, keep your head on a swivel, question everything, and don't let the left pull the wool over our eyes. They've got their old playbook, the cash, and the will. We've got the truth and the right people in the right positions to expose the corruption that has embedded itself within our government, and we're not falling for their BS again. That's it. What y'all think? You know, see, 14 minutes. I'm getting real good at keeping them close to between, around 15 minutes long. I like it when I hit 17 minutes long. That makes me feel pretty good. When I write these things, I used to really over explain myself, and end up writing little mini novels is basically what I did, because I felt like for some reason I had to explain just about every freaking thing I was writing about. But since, I've got it under control, and I think I'm keeping them short and sweet along with these videos. So until the next one, y'all, stay sharp, because things are getting crazy out there right now. And actually, it's got me very concerned that something very major is about to happen. And I'm a little worried, to be honest with you. I mean, the assassination and attempted assassination of these two Democrats, that signals to me that the left is willing to go that far now, and that these two couples may be just the beginning, and they're going to do their very best to lay every bit of the blame on MAGA and Trump supporters. So, like I said, just keep your head on a swivel, stay alert, and if you see something, say something. Get your phone out, try to get a clear picture of their face, get a picture of their license plate or the color and make model of their car or truck, whatever. Just, stay safe and stay alert. That's all for now. Y'all have a great and wonderful happy Father's Day also. Yes, I forgot about that. Happy Father's Day to everybody, all the fathers out there. I'm a daddy myself, got 6 youngins. Well, 5 now, but 6. Happy Father's Day, y'all.